Hi, Laura. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. It's good to see you. So, for those watching, I would imagine you probably know who both of us are, but I'll just quickly say hi to everybody. My name is John Kilkenny. I'm the director of the Sewanee Summer Music Festival. I'm here with my friend Laura Brooks Rice, and Laura, along with running our Opera Fest here as part of the music festival, is also on the faculty of the K Fritz Young Artist Program at the Kennedy Center and a number of other organizations she's working with, and we're thrilled to have her as part of our faculty and as a program director for the Opera Fest Sewanee at the Music Festival. And we're going to talk about the 2022 program in just a second. But anyway, Laura, it's good to see you. We've actually gotten to see each other in person and
Yeah.
on Zoom, which is fun. You were just here in Washington. To tell us a little bit about what you were doing here in DC.
Well, yeah, for the I haven't been on a plane since March 2020. The last time I flew back from Washington was my birthday, March 13th, 2020, when the
Wow.
pandemic started. So I guess it's my fault.
No, no, no. Don't stop say that.
So I've been working with their singers all year on Zoom. And last week I went there for the first time and met them in person for the first time, which was wonderful to be able to work in person. And it was also terrific to confirm what I know to listen for on Zoom. And so I
That's great.
knew, there wasn't that much of a surprise except how tall some of them were. um, so I'm glad my ears were confirmed and was very glad to meet them in person. And then I came home and now I'm here and waiting for my when I know I'm going to go back
Yeah.
and teaching online and keeping up with all of our singers all over the country.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. We had our first series of opera vocal programs as part of the music festival last year. We had 50 singers at our winter fest in January of 21. That was all offered online, and then we had 23 singers in the summer as part of the music center. And now we don't have to plan everything in 2 months like we did in the previous year. So we've been working really all of this time now to put together the 2022 program. But again, before we get to that, what have some of our singers been up to since the summer? What have they been doing?
Well, one of them stayed here. Um,
Yes, yes. Hi, Mala,
Mala,
if you're watching this. Yeah.
Mala Weisberg, who was my student at Westminster Choir College, and then I retired, and then there was a pandemic. She graduated from Westminster and is in a gap year between undergrad and grad. Instead of going back to her home in Tel Aviv or where her father lives in Belgium, she stayed here in Sewanee so that we could prepare auditions. This is such a wonderfully welcoming community that she has a host and hostess that are allowing her to stay in their beautiful home just down the street from me. She's working for you and working for the university. So she has access to practice rooms, access to lessons. And so it's been really good for her to have this time to work and focus. And to that end, she's doing a recital Sunday so that we can record all of her pre screening requirements for grad school. But others are, I'm so very happy that because our students, our singers got to be here in person and got to perform on the stage in a long time. When they first hit the stage, it was a little disconcerting. And they tended to push and they tended to be a little uncomfortable, but their comfort level got so much better as the program progressed. And so they were able to leave here with pre screening recordings, professionally done on a wonderful stage. And many of them have been granted auditions to some of the best programs in the country. The list is endless. That I have just 8 in the Met auditions,
Eight.
um,
Wow.
several for the Maryland program, several for Wolf Trap, for Glimmerglass, Opera Theater St. Louis. Just you go down the list of all the major summer young artist programs, and many of them have been granted auditions.
Well, and first of all, congratulations to you and the team that worked with them this summer. And I want to talk a little bit about that team and that experience. I mean, we were very fortunate at the festival to have our dates kind of fell in that real sweet spot for us before where there was a high vaccination rate before the Delta variant. And so we were able to be together. We were able to sing and play our instruments in person and have audiences and all of that, which clearly has helped contribute to their success. But also, I think, the team that you've assembled, the faculty that were part of this summer experience, were really a big part of that. And you could talk a little bit about how that is structured and how you've set that up for the singers to have this sort of success. And I know we're planning to continue that and expand that in 22. Let's talk a little bit about that curriculum.
Sure. Singers need to have an understanding of their vocal technique. They have to have linguistic clarity. They have to be excellent musicians, understanding style and various operatic styles. They need to be able to have something to say as an actor. And they need to have the intelligence and the will and the flexibility to accept information in all those areas and work with it. And the faculty that we gathered are my friends and my colleagues, Kathleen Kelly, Patrick Hansen, Doug McDonough, Gina Lipinski, Joan Dorneman, Elena Kolodova, Himdi Kafir, virtually from Israel. And I really sort of see us as sort of the Mayo Clinic for opera singers.
I love that.
So
You've used that phrase before. I love that image of how you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
no.
it's a
So
great
that,
image of how you put it together. Yeah.
but that we surround the singers with information that they need and with various expertise that we all carry. And in a very holistic, I believe and hope, environment where they're free to experiment, free to try new things out in concerts that are low pressure but high profile, because our community here loves to come and watch the concerts. But and all the while they're assessed. They were assessed when they left the program by several of us. This is what you did well. This is what you need to continue to work on. But what I hope that we do is, with knowledge and expertise, empower their individuality.
Well, and that's a great, I mean, just to sort of sit on that phrase for a second, empowering their individuality is a great way to think about this, and something that I think or I know that we offered vocalists is very similar to what we believe that the whole program is, this sort of holistic, safe learning environment, right? I mean, that's something that's been a hallmark of the Music Center now for 60 plus years, is that you come to Sewanee, you have this incredibly warm and knowledgeable audience. They know their music, they love opera, they love orchestral music, they know what they're hearing, and yet our community is so incredibly grateful and appreciative of the talent and caliber of the performers who are there. And also, it allows the singers, it allows our instrumentalists, our composers, our conductors to really try on these new ideas and concepts in a way that is safe and welcoming, but also, as you said, high profile and really, I think, very thoughtful. The whole thing is put together in a really very thoughtful and careful way. So looking ahead, we had a great summer in 21, and a number of those young artists have gone on or are going on to great success and opportunities in their career. Tell us a little bit about what we have to look forward to, and we're still planning. We're still in the early planning stages, but what we have to look forward to in 22, faculty and experiences, things like that.
Well, fortunately, most of all of our faculty are returning, and I have to say, the last year, that it took a lot of collaboration with you and with my instrumental colleagues, that we were able to produce some wonderful chamber music for these singers. They got an opportunity to perform everything from Auf dem Strom to, excuse me, the Bachianas Brasilianas with 8 celli. And so it was, with wonderful players, and that's unusual for a summer program to have those type of performing opportunities. So we are planning this summer to do more chamber music. We did opera scenes last year. We had aria concerts that are recorded, and many of them used those recordings for their pre-screening auditions. And we had lighter entertainment in the village with when people were able to, dust off their music theater chops. Yeah. But this summer, we're bringing in guest artists. So I'm very happy that we're going to bring in Kira Duffy, who will perform and teach, bass baritone Joshua Conyers, who will also perform and teach, and soprano Kellyanne Bixby. All three of them have had very different career trajectories. Kira has sung with every major orchestra in this country and is known for being a 21st or current music specialist, as well as an excellent singer, and she's on the faculty at Notre Dame. Joshua Conyers is on an operatic track. He's currently singing in I Pagliacci with Memphis Opera, and his calendar is filling up. I had the pleasure of working with him in the K. Fritz program at Washington National Opera. But his is on an operatic trajectory. Kelly is a professional chorister. She sings with one of my best friends, Donald Nally's group, The Crossing, and which is an intense choral experience. And she teaches at a university in Louisiana. So that there's two that are teaching and singing. One is having an operatic career. So wonderful perspectives for a 21st century career for our singers from our guest artists. And then my friends and colleagues, Kathleen Kelly, Patrick Hansing, Doug McDonough, Gina Lipinski, Joan Dorneman, will return.
Yeah, it's gonna be great to see everybody, and now they know Sewanee and they know what we're all about, and it's going to be wonderful to have them back with us. And we decided this year too, one other thing we should just chat about briefly is that we've decided to have a little bit of clarity in terms of the levels of experience that we're going to have with our participants. So you talk a little bit about how we came to that place. Yeah.
Right. So we have two levels. One is for younger singers that may be in their undergraduate years that are looking for grad schools. Many of our faculty are connected to graduate schools, so it's a nice opportunity to get to know somebody on that faculty, where they will prepare art, song, and opera in preparation for whatever their next step is if they're going to go to graduate school. And then we have a fellows program that are largely for graduate students to postgraduate pre-Santa Fe, pre-Marilla, that they're ready to hone their aria package so that they can move on to their next step. I mean, I'm not ashamed. I'm very proud to say that we are a stepping stone to the next step toward an operatic career. And it's a pretty intense and important one to be able to have access to this level coaching.
I'm sorry. I think I love hearing you say that, and I think that's what Sewanee is across the board, right? I mean, we are the next phase of someone's professional development, and wherever they are, whatever age they are, is largely relevant. But we're here to shepherd them through, to whatever that next stage is, and whether it's our wonderful vocalists or a composer, or even some of our instrumentalists or vocalists who are interested in kind of experiencing composition, for example, or conducting, for example, and they want to take the conducting seminar, or take a composition seminar, and that may open doors for them that they didn't realize that, paths for creativity that they didn't realize that they had or hadn't had a chance to explore yet. So, I think that I am very I would echo your pride in being that stepping stone for all of our participants to that next phase of their career. It's wonderful. So I cut you off and I apologize, but please go.
No, I think it's important that we can launch people in the right direction. Um, I've sat with singers and said, "No, don't go. Don't waste your money. Don't waste your heart. Don't waste your ego, and put yourself out there for these high level programs. These will be perfect for you. Go here next, and then move on." Because it's important that they know what they're asking for, what they're going to get into, and what it is to have a singing career. And if they have what it takes, not just vocally and musically, but personally. So it's important that they are being counseled. My colleague Ann Baltz and I created a list of all the young artist programs that it was used for a while. It's under reconstruction
Sure,
a
sure.
little bit because of some programs are gone. But what the reason we put this together was to sort of identify what level certain programs were looking for,
Yeah.
so that singers don't go on Yap Tracker and just audition for everything and spend thousands of dollars on application fees when there's there's not a chance that they're going to be selected for a certain program. Um,
I think it's a great point, and I think it's a testament to your what the word would say, honesty, the dedication, commitment as a teacher, that you have those kinds of honest conversations with students. Because I think too many people don't. And I've had similar types of discussions. I'll have an undergraduate, sophomore or junior, and say, oh, I want to send a tape to Pacific Music Festival, or to I want to go do the Tanglewood audition in New York. And I'm kind of like, okay, I mean, you probably don't shouldn't do that. It doesn't mean you're a bad player, a bad musician. It just does. It means that perhaps there are better uses of your time and your emotional energy and your limited financial resources, right? So I think
right,
it's so important to have those types of conversations, and to do it in a I keep using this word safe, but to do it in a way that's supportive, and not um, in any way that feels punitive. Because I think that's sometimes what students hear is, oh, my teacher doesn't think I'm good. No, no, no. It's nothing to do with good or bad or anything. That has to do with reality, right? When you're dealing with, in the case of the Pacific Music Festival, they might have 5 or 6 spots in the percussion section, and they're auditioning students from all over the world.
yeah.
That's goodness, that's stiff
But not only
competition.
that, but to know, if you do get accepted to something like that, and you're in a situation and you think, oh, this is way too far, I'm way too overwhelmed by
Exactly.
this much attention and this much access to the profession. I've had that happen to singers, that they got accepted, and then all these people come into town and want to hear them, and they're like, I'm not ready to audition for this. And so um, uh, it is tricky. I will never ever tell somebody you're not going to sing, never.
Right, right, of
But
course, of
it's
course.
just where I just did a podcast recently, and I talked about having a small team around you that can honestly assess who you are. My teacher said to me, you need to be able to ask yourself at every step of your career, can I make a living off the sound of my voice? And be able to answer honestly, to take inventory of what you have to offer, and know where it's appropriate, and where you're going to be successful. So that's a larger, broader conversation. But we definitely have these conversations with the singers here and the pianists who come to work with our faculty.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, I think I would like to have a conversation about this at another time. But today we're because it's an important one to have, and I don't in any way mean to dismiss it or cut
No,
it off,
no,
because I do think there are too many. You and I have had this discussion sort of in an unrecorded environment where people are just spending thousands and thousands of dollars sending out applications, and it just not only is it bad for them in terms of their emotional psyche and obviously their financial health. Um, but I think that's a great point that's often overlooked. I just want to underscore something you said about, so let's say you do get in, then what happens,
Yeah.
and it's sort of like the dog that catches the car, right? Like at some point, if you're not ready yet for that environment, that could be as damaging or more damaging than simply waiting a year or 2 years or whatever it is before you do apply for that. So I think that's an important discussion, and I'd like us to continue to have it. But for the summer of 22, we've got a great faculty coming. We've got great artistic performances. We have great performance opportunities for our students, guest artists, all of these things. The applications are open now. We got our first application today, and it happened to be a singer. So thank you, Laura, and your team for that. And I'm sure by the time this goes out and this is on our podcast and the video goes online, there'll be a large number of applications already coming in. But we're excited for the summer and excited to see what your program grows to, where it's headed. We have some exciting commissioning projects we'll be talking about soon, and other sort of really forward-looking artistic collaborations between our vocal and instrumental participants that I'm very excited about. So grateful to know you, grateful to have you on our team, and really, really happy for everything that you're doing with us, Laura. Thank you so much for
Likewise.
everything you're
Thank
doing.
you.
Yeah. And for everyone watching or listening to this, applications for the music festival are open. They're due in 2022. So check our website, check our social media for the latest, all the information that you need. And Laura, it's great to see you, and we'll get caught up again soon. Thanks.
Okay.